and welcome to Homestead Corner. Today I thought we would go over the basics of a depression or survival pantry. When I think back to the depression and things like that, I am thinking their pantries were built for pure survival. It is nice to have tons of good quality, nutrient dense foods in your pantry, but a lot of times that's not what they had. They had what was inexpensive, what they could get their hands on, but it was enough for them to survive. And I think that is very important when we're looking at our pantries. We love to have a wide variety because it makes it easier for us to make meals and things like that. But when it comes down to bare bones, there really are just a few places to look. I've got 10 things here that I think are super important, and they are categories really. Not everybody loves the same kind of food. So I think that if you get a little bit from each of these categories, you can have a nice solid depression pantry. And I do think the more you have in each category, the easier it will be to mix up different varieties of foods. But having just a couple of the ingredients will work. And not everybody has the same ability to stock up food as everybody else. So the first thing I think is really important is to make sure you have plenty of grains. Oats, rice, corn, barley, buckwheat, whatever it is that you like. If you don't like corn, don't put corn in there. If you love oats, have extra oats. Wheat, your flours, things like that, whatever flours you can use. If you have the ability to grind, your wheat berries and whole corn are going to last much longer in your pantry than standard flours are. A regular flour is only going to last. I vacuum seal flour and we have had it last up to 6 years with no issues. And if it's vacuum sealed and not getting any air in a cool, dark, dry place. Some flours are not going to last as long, like whole wheat flour, things like that. They just don't last as long. But if you want that whole wheat and you have the ability to grind, wheat berries are definitely the way to go. And you don't have to grind wheat berries. They make delicious food. You can make all kinds of breakfasts and put them in salads and dishes and all sorts of things just the way they are by cooking them. The next thing is beans and lentils. They are a great source of protein and fiber, and definitely in a survival situation, you are definitely going to want to have those on hand. Dried beans, again, are going to last the longest, but if you can get canned beans, however you can do it. If your cooking is limited in an emergency situation, canned beans are great. We try to always have canned beans on hand. The next thing is fruits and vegetables. Canned, dried, freeze-dried, however you can get them into your pantry. Definitely. Back in the Depression, they had what they grew or what they foraged. So they didn't have wide varieties of stuff, but they did have plenty to last them until the next harvest. So it was really important to make sure that you had plenty of fruits and vegetables so you're getting as much vitamins as you can out of them. Also, having meats on the shelf is another great thing to have because you've got that protein, gives you variety to your meals. And they didn't eat tons and tons of meat like we eat a lot of meat today. Back in the Depression times, they did not eat as much meat, but they did have some canned, dried, smoked meats, stuff like that, jerkies, things of that nature. They kept those so they would have some special occasions, a couple times a week maybe, but they did have a lot of non-meat meals when there just wasn't enough. Another thing would be spices and flavorings and things like that. All your seasonings, Bouillon cubes are a big one. They really help add flavor to your meals and different dishes, soups, casseroles. We use bouillon cubes in a whole bunch of different stuff, and I think they are really important. You know, your sauces, soy sauce is another one. It lasts and lasts and lasts. It is not going to go bad. As long as it's sealed up, it's going to last. All those flavorings are going to help, because a lot of these foods are bland. There's not a lot of flavor in them, especially when, you know, you're digging out of those dried rice and beans. You've only got a little bit of meat or something to add to it. Fruits and vegetables, adding some flavor is really helpful and will help with food fatigue. Another thing they kept in their pantries during the Depression was peanut butter. It is, again, there's good nutrients in it. There's lots of flavor. You can do a ton of stuff. We use peanut butter in a lot of granola and stuff like that to help add that protein to it. And it's great on crackers. You can put it on apples, all sorts of stuff. If you can't use peanut butter, I know a lot of people are allergic to peanuts. So, you know, nut butters, things like that, the things that you can have. Definitely, if you are allergic to something, obviously you're not going to stock it in your pantry, but the things that you can have, look at those areas and get those in stock so you have them. I think nuts are another thing that should be in everyone's pantry because it has great nutrients, protein, fiber, all that good stuff for you. I know they are a little bit pricey, but getting those into your meals definitely can help keep your nutrients up during a survival situation. Sweeteners were another thing that they kept in their pantry. Not tons of sweetener, but some. They still made cakes and desserts and things like that. So having either sugar or honey, maple syrup, things of that nature, stevia, whatever it is that you use for a sweetener, definitely if you use a sweetener, I would have a decent amount just to get you through in your pantry to make sure that you're able to get that little sweet tooth. You know, when you're craving something, you're craving something. And when you can't have it, it makes it that much more difficult. And if it's just a little something sweet once in a while, it'll at least cut that and help you get through. Cooking oils are another thing that is a necessity. You need those fats in your diet, and really if you try to cook something without oil, it does not taste all that good sometimes. I've had some pretty awful food when I tried to skip oil because I didn't have enough of oil or something, and it is not delicious. Having those fats and oils, whether it be lard or olive oil, whatever kind of oils that you like to use, definitely oils are really important. You need those fats and things like that. Another staple that they kept in their pantries was powdered milk. Powdered milk is really great for baking and cooking and tons of dishes. We use it quite a lot instead of fresh milk because it is a little bit cheaper and it lasts. And lastly, probably not the most nutritious food that you can add to your pantry, but like ramen noodles and pasta and things like that. In the Depression times, they used pasta to stretch out meals. Ramen noodles are so inexpensive and easy to keep on the shelf. So they are, I think they're a great staple to have, and just to stretch out your meals and make them a little bit fuller and give everybody a little bit more, I think. You can really mix up ramen noodles and do tons of different things with them. There are a million ramen noodle recipes out there. You could take that little packet and use it for something else or toss it or whatever, but there are lots of noodle recipes. So noodles, I think, are great to help stretch all the other foods that you have, definitely. And that is it for a Depression pantry. And when you are stocking it, you really want to look at survival as inexpensively as possible, but you're going to be able to feed your family at least something. And that's it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.